Stitcher. It is October 1st, and this is Flosstube number 3. This is a channel where I talk all about the great craft of cross stitch with a little bit of bookish talk that will come toward the end of the episode. I want to first thank everyone who has liked and commented and subscribed to my channel and watched my videos. It means so much to me. I'm so grateful. I love seeing all your comments. I love responding to your comments and chatting with you all, seeing what you're stitching, what you're reading, getting recommendations on what I'm stitching, or hearing that you're liking the progress I'm making on some of my different projects. I just truly appreciate from the bottom of my heart you watching and spending time with me. It's a lot of fun. It's really exciting to see my followers grow. It wouldn't matter if I had 10 followers, but the more people who are on here watching and commenting, the more fun it makes it, because I get to hear a lot from other stitchers, because I don't know a lot of stitchers in real life. I don't really have any friends who cross stitch, and I'm pretty new to cross stitch in general, so I just haven't had a chance to meet anyone else. So doing it virtually like this is the best way for me right now to be connecting with other stitchers. If you like what you see and you like my content, please consider subscribing. That would mean so much to me. I'll definitely be having some giveaways, maybe next episode. I want to really thank you for watching, and I know it's fun to participate in giveaways and possibly get a chance to win and get a little surprise in the mail. Always a good thing. So I'll have to think about what I would like to give away and how I want to do it, but definitely in the next episode, I think I'll have a couple things that I'll want to give away. Life update, not much going on in the past 2 weeks, but maybe that's a good thing, a little bit quiet. Last weekend, my aunt who lives near me, who is my mother's sister, and I went down to the Jersey Shore to visit with my other aunt. She is not actually related to me. She's my mom's best friend from high school and my godmother, but she's my aunt and everything but blood. So we went down to visit her. It was really nice to just hang out with both of them, to catch up, go out to lunch, and just spend a really nice day together. Family is so important, so it was really good to spend the time with both of them. Other than that, it's a bit gray and cold and rainy here. I know that's because we're getting some of the effects from the hurricane. My heart and prayers go out to everyone in Florida who was impacted by the hurricane. I saw some of the news coverage, and I can't even imagine how much devastation has happened down there. And if you're in Florida or you have friends and family in Florida, I'm just thinking of you, and my heart goes out to you, because it's always so hard when these kind of things happen, so devastating. So thoughts are with you. But other than that, it's pretty quiet for me, which isn't such a bad thing. So we can start talking about some stitching. So I do have a finish, and speaking of my aunt, this is for her. So I know if you guys remember from my past couple videos, I was saying this one was giving me a little bit of a headache because I had some frogging, I had some mistakes, or as some nice commenters made, just some changes to this one, but I finished it. I think it turned out really well. I think she's gonna like it a lot. When we were driving down to my aunt's house, I was telling her about my Flosstube, and she thought it was really cool, and she was just excited for me to be getting into a new hobby and having fun with it. So I think she's going to really enjoy getting a cross stitch of her own. And this one is by Zindagi Designs. It is a, what count Aida? It is a 16 count antique Aida, and I just used their called for DMC for this one. So initially I was going to frame this, but it's kind of a weird size. I couldn't really find frames that I liked that would work. And then I was in Michael's, had to pick up some floss, and I had a coupon, and they were having sales. And so I saw just this little wooden sign, and this I think I can rip off, or I can just put something over this. But the great thing about going to Michael's is if you go, you get, if you're part of like their membership rewards, which is like a free thing to join, you can get $5 coupons when you spend a certain amount. They're always having sales. Their fall stuff was 40% off, and they gave me an extra 20% off. So I bought this, like 8 skeins of floss and a thing of ribbon, $5 for everything, including this. So I bought this not knowing what I was gonna put on it for a finish, but thinking it was a nice size and it would stand up in a corner, and if I would finish something for me in my apartment or anywhere. But I think that this will fit nicely on it. There'll be extra room so I can put another color fabric behind it, so I'll get something maybe similar to like this blue color, because my aunt has some blues in her kitchen, some aquas and some blues, and so I'm gonna finish it on this, and then she can stand it in her kitchen or anywhere in her house that she would like to display it. So that's my finish for this week. And also, it was funny. So I was telling my boyfriend that this one was frustrating me, and I told him I was finally finished, and I've been telling him a little bit about Flosstube and some of the terms we use, and he's like, oh, is that one of those FFFs? And I was like, what do you think an FFF is? And he said, finally effing finished. And I was like, well, no, but maybe I'll be using that in the future when I have projects that are kind of being a bit annoying. I told him it's an FFO, and he was like, I was close. I was like, okay. So there's that one. So that's it for finishes. No fully finished objects, FFOs. So I will move on to whips or starts. So I have 2 starts, and I think I said that I was going to do finish one and then I could start another, but we never follow our own rules, which is fine. And one of the starts is another present, so that's kind of why I started it, even though I think it'll be quick and I'll finish it in plenty of time. But one of the starts I did is fall is in the air, and I shared this last week from Fat Quarter Shop. This is their Stitch Quarterly, so it came with the pattern here, it came with the fabric, the floss, a needle minder, a bag, the little things to hold your cloth back, they call them cloth biddies, like all this great stuff. Really, really lovely kind of thing to subscribe to if you're interested in looking for a cross stitch to subscribe to, so I started this. So cute. And I did hear Fat Quarter Shop said that this pattern, if you didn't sign up for Stitch Quarterly, will be available in about a month on their website. So fatquartershop.com probably, I think, is their website, but you'll be able to find that there. It's so cute with the little fox. So I didn't do too much on this one. Well, I actually did a fair amount, considering I got a lot of the tree done. Actually, I think it's supposed to be held this way. I'll make sure when I'm stitching it that I'm holding it the right way. I just put it down any which way. But it came with the little needle minder, the little fox. He's really cute. And then this is like a platinum 14 count Aida. It's pretty nice. It's not a bad Aida. So I just got that much of the tree done. But looking at the pattern, yeah, I think it is supposed to go this way, but it's not going to take me too long. I think it'll be a pretty quick stitch, so I'm hoping to finish it in the next 2 weeks, but I think it's going to turn out really cute. And it's perfect for October because the leaves are starting to change and it's really feeling like fall is in the air. So that's that one. And then my other start, this is a birthday present for my brother. So Billy, if you're watching, turn the video off now because I don't want you to be spoiled. This is your birthday present. My brother has been pretty supportive, and he and his wife sometimes watch my videos. So Billy, don't look away right now and mute it because I'm going to talk about this too. So, okay. So this is a Dimensions kit. It's a Star Wars kit. My brother likes Star Wars a lot. I wasn't sure what I could stitch him for his birthday, but I thought he would like a Star Wars thing he could put up in his office or hang it somewhere in his apartment. So I thought this was pretty cute, and I really liked that it gives you, so this is like their example of the stitch, and it has these 4 characters, but it also gives you the pattern for all of these guys. So you can stitch whichever characters you want, which is kind of cool. It gives you, you got a good variety to choose from. So I texted him, and I said, of these, I think there's however many, 12 characters. There's 10 of them, I can't count. Which ones are your favorite? And of course, him being Billy and loving Star Wars was like, well, what about this character? What about this character? They're not on the list. And I was like, just choose from the list, Billy. Just go with it. And so he chose Yoda, Obi-Wan, Darth Vader, and then a Stormtrooper. So it'll be pretty much, I'll do them in this order. The Yoda, the Obi-Wan, and the Stormtrooper. And then instead of Luke, I will do Darth Vader. So that's pretty cute. And if he ever wanted me to stitch him another one with some of the other characters, I could do that too. You could actually, you don't have to do it in this shape either. You could put them any which way you want, but I'm gonna make it easy for myself and just do it with them in the row and the words underneath. And so I got started on that, and it's a kit. So it comes with the Aida. The Aida it came with was awful. It was just really starchy and stiff, and like I knew it was gonna bother me, and I didn't want to stitch on it. So I picked my own. I had a 14 count vintage taupe Aida in my stash. I think it was just one from Hobby Lobby or something that you can get. And the hoop also was not the best quality. It wouldn't stay, it was just not made well. So I just used a Q-snap. So this is where I'm at. I have made the force, so I could have waited, but I wanted to try to like line them up. So I stitched this first. Then I realized I could have just stitched them and then just had it fit under that, but I wasn't thinking. So I've made it, I can, this is just simple back stitch, so I can take it out if I mess up on my counting here and they're not like, you know, this is not directly underneath. But I got that done, and then a little bit of Yoda. I wanted to finish Yoda this morning, and then I just had a really bad headache, so you can't stitch when you got a headache, unfortunately. So Yoda did not get finished, but it's looking cute so far. And I think that this fabric is modeled on the other side. It looks a little bit like vintage country mocha, but I just wanted it to be plain. I didn't want it to be modeled, so that's cute. I don't know how I'll finish it yet. We'll see. I'll think about it, see how it turns out, and then see whether I want to frame it or do some sort of other finish. If you have ideas for a cute way to finish that, obviously I was gonna finish it in the hoop, and I thought that would be cute, but again, the hoop is just not, it's kind of broken, so we'll think of something else to do for that. So that's that one. So those are my two starts, and then I have some whips, only 2 whips. I only worked on 2 things because I'm almost done with this one, and I think I remember I said in my last video I wanted to finish this before like October was totally through. We'll see if I fully finish it in time to display close to Halloween, but here's 2 Pumpkins Bright by Liz Matthews. And I can put over here what it will look like completely finished, but I'm getting pretty close. And I just, look how cute this is. Look at these guys. Look. And like, you can see the photo and you're like, oh, that's gonna stitch up cute. And then you just like have some of it done and you're like, okay. But then like, you really start making progress and you get some of the different colors in and you do some of the different things, and it's just really, really cute. So I'm using her called for DMC, and this is just an 18 count Aida, white Aida. And so I last time I had him done, and I had almost all of him, and that was it, and not even their stems. So I did like all of this. I did the vine here. I did a couple of the spiders. There's a couple more I gotta do. I did this part of the border. And it's coming along. And then I think there's a big spider in here. I gotta admit, I don't in real life like spiders. I'm actually like really scared of them and find them really terrifying and creepy, even though they're like this big. So I'll probably do a couple others here, but I just decided like, okay, we'll reduce the spiders a little bit and we'll just do the web here. So that's that one. So I think I'm doing good on the border. I haven't really done much with a border yet, and this has multiple borders. So it's got like this inside border here. It's got this outside one here. And then there's another border that goes, I think, all the way around. I think it goes all the way around. So it's got a lot of borders going on. And at first, actually, this line down here, I did 2 rows up, and I was gonna actually run into this line. I was on the phone with my boyfriend and was like, I wasn't paying attention. I was talking to you. So it was easy enough to pull the stitches out. So that is 2 Pumpkins Bright. I think I can probably finish this in the next week. I don't know if I'll fully finish it this month, because then I have to like decide how I want to finish it, if I want to do it on a board or something. Actually, You know what, I do have something I was thinking of finishing it on, and I don't have it on the table with me, so I apologize. But if you've been to Target and you've seen in their dollar spot, they actually have like a wood haunted house, and it's got like a window and a lighter wood, and it's like a chalkboard color. I think it actually might be. Maybe it is a chalkboard that you can write on, maybe that's the point. But it has a big open space at the bottom. I think that could look pretty cute with this either directly on it, like this on sticky board on it, or with another piece of fabric behind it. I think another fabric behind it might be nice. I have some Halloween fabric that I could use, or just plain orange. So maybe I will finish it on the haunted house. Maybe if I get my act together to do that in the next 2 weeks, you will see that fully finished next week. I think I should attempt it. Then I might have 2 FFOs next week if I finish my ants. So that is Two Pumpkins Bright by Liz Matthews. Super cute. And then I only have one other whip because I spent a lot of time working on that one. And sometimes, you know, you get home from work and you're tired from the day, and so I haven't worked. It's busy, but not unmanageably busy. But some nights I've just been watching TV or Flosstube, and I haven't been spending as much time stitching. I am watching the new Lord of the Rings series on Amazon Prime, Rings of Power. It's good so far. I like it. If you like fantasy and you like that kind of thing, I'm enjoying it. So I've been actually watching Flosstube and also watching that while I stitch. So my next whip is my September Quaker from The Heart Needleworks, or Needle Art. So this was my birthday start in September, and I changed the colors to blues because that's my favorite color, and it's coming along pretty well. So last time I had this part done, and I had almost finished this, but I had a little bit of frogging to do, I think. I think I messed up somewhere, and then I had to finish that. And then doing this, I messed up somewhere there, and I literally had this done, and like this, and then I messed up somewhere around here. I had to frog, because it was up one for here. And at first I was like, can I just fudge it? And then I was like, this is like that whole motif up there in the corner with the big star. And so I was like, if this star isn't in the right place, then I have to figure out where everything that's coming out of it goes. If I fudge it, I have to like figure out where I would, I was gonna mess it up too much if I didn't frog. I think some people just say like fudge stuff and figure it out, but in this one, frogging was probably the easier way to go. So I think I would have just totally messed it up, so, but that's okay. Frogging happens, it's not a big deal. I just restitched it. It's not the end of the world. It's looking cute. And I think these show up, this light color shows up a little bit better in person than it is here on the screen, but I like this one. It's gonna take me a while. I got a lot more to go, but it's cute. And it's nice to have a stitch that it's not holiday or seasonal. I mean, it's a September Quaker, but in the motifs and the way it's designed, it's not tied to anything specifically. So I can just kind of work on this when I feel like it. So that's it for whips. So next let's talk about other Flosstubers. I do have some haul, but I want to do some Flosstube shout outs first. So I finally caught up, like I think yesterday, on all the Flosstubes. I was like behind by like many episodes from many people. But I think I finally am caught up because I think I'm following like 30 Flosstubers, maybe more than that. It's so fun though to stitch and sit there and see what other people are working on. It's just enjoyable. You just feel like when you're stitching and you're watching a Flosstuber, you're stitching with a friend. So the first one I want to recommend is another newer Flosstube. She's La La D Stitches, and I'll put all the information for all of the projects, whips, starts, finish I just showed in the description box, and I'll also put the names of these Flosstubers down there if you want to go subscribe to their channels. So La La D Stitches is Laura She has about 4 episodes out, I think. She has such a breadth of what she stitches. She stitches samplers. She stitches like things that are more pop culture-y. She stitches like fancy ladies like Nora Corbett. She just has some really, really beautiful things and so many whips. I think she did a whip parade and she has quite a lot of projects on the go, which is kind of fun. You get to see like a real big variety of things. She's very fun, very bubbly, very silly. I really enjoy her videos, so that's Lala D Stitches. Another one is Once Upon a Stitch, Lori. She is not newer. I think she has more than 100 videos out, but she's really sweet. She stitches some really pretty things, and she's a really good stitcher. Like, her stitches are really nicely done. She's stitching things for her grandchildren and always mentioning her grandchildren in her videos, so that's really sweet. So that is Once Upon a Stitch. And then I think a lot of people watch this Flosstuber already, but she's worth giving a shout out to. It's Sarah's Stitchy Spot. So Sarah is also, I think, a little bit newer. I think she has maybe 6 or 7 episodes out. Her husband wrote the theme song at the beginning of her video, so make sure you listen to that, because that's so sweet that he did that. And her stuff is beautiful. I mean, beautiful samplers, huge. She does smaller pieces, but she does really large samplers and other kinds of stitching, and she has a lot of beautiful finishes too. She's been stitching for a very long time and just has so much beauty to show, and she's so sweet and nice. So definitely check out Sarah at Sarah's Stitchy Spot. So those are my 3 recommendations for the week. And then let me take a sip of tea. And so we will do haul. So the first 2 pieces of the haul, I did a couple pre-orders for Needlework Expo that was held at the end of August. It's, if you're not familiar, and I just learned about it this year, so hopefully I'm talking about it correctly, but it's basically where it's virtual, and different designers can go and into virtual booths of sellers, different shops, be it a physical needlework store or an online store, and the designers can talk to the shopkeepers about the different designs they have and see if the shopkeeper wants to order them and sell them in their shop. And a lot of them release their designs before Needlework Expo, so these shops can start posting and getting in pre-orders, and then they speak to the shopkeeper during the event, or speak to the designer during the event and tell them how many they want to order, I assume, that kind of thing. So I limited myself to 2, because if you were paying attention during this time period of all the beautiful things released, it would be easy to order like everything, because it was just lovely designs. And most of them were this year. I don't know if that's always the case, but they were fall and Halloween, which I'm really loving, fall and Halloween. So the first one is my first Teresa Kogut. It's this one. She is Whimsy Witch's Angry House. And is it showing up? Yeah. She's so cute. Look at her face. Look at her cat. He's got a hat on. I think it's her face that got me. I don't know. She's just like smiling and head tilt, and her hair's blowing, and she just seems like she's so content for it to be Halloween and for her to go out trick-or-treating. And if you watch Teresa's, and it says it in the packet, but if you watch Teresa's video on this, you're like, all right, well, why? The house is angry. He's got an angry face. He's not happy. So you're like, well, why is the house angry? And she says it's because the little whimsy witch gets to go out trick-or-treating with her little cat pal, and the house has to stay home and deal with the trick-or-treaters that are going to come to their door. So she gets to go out trick-or-treat and have fun, and he has to deal with all the little kids coming and trick-or-treating. I liked that story. I thought that was pretty cute. So that is Whimsy Witch's Angry House. I probably won't stitch this year. This will be a next year stitch, but that'll be fun. That's cute. And then the other one is another Halloween themed one. I'll put some of my Halloween decorations out. I miss being a kid and dressing up for Halloween. I can still dress up, but it's not as much fun as when you're a kid. You get to go out with all your friends and trick-or-treat. My mom loves Halloween. We had like a great neighborhood for trick-or-treating. All the houses were close together. It was a very safe neighborhood with sidewalks, easy to walk around, and a really big neighborhood, and a lot of children lived in the neighborhood, so their friends would come to the neighborhood, and we would get hundreds of trick-or-treaters. Like, we would buy every week when we went to the grocery store from like August or early September through to Halloween, we would get 2 or 3 or 4 bags, like big bags of candy, because there were years we ran out and we had to pay those people that put a sign on our door that said, "I'm sorry, we're out of candy." And my mom hated that. She hated being the house that ran out of candy. So after the first time that happened, it was like, never again. We always had extra candy left over because we made sure we had more than enough. But my mom loves Halloween. We had the perfect trick-or-treating neighborhood. We would always get ready at my house and dress up in our costumes and go trick-or-treating. And I have really lovely memories of trick-or-treating. And so maybe someday if I have children of my own, they are going trick-or-treating and they were wearing costumes and I'm going with them and it'll be fun. Anyway, this one is Luminous Fiber Arts, All Hallows Eve. I thought this was just so pretty. I love the way she stacked the pumpkins, and I like the cat, because you guys maybe know I have a black cat named Scout. She's black and white, but she's my Scout. So the cat's really cute. I just think this is like a really it's both whimsical and fun, but also kind of elegant at the same time. And Luminous Fiber Arts, the designer is named Misty, and she has a Flosstube too, so you can check her out. I think it probably is just Luminous Fiber Arts on YouTube. And she had an episode where she talked about the inspiration. I don't know if it was maybe behind this one, but certainly behind some of her other patterns. And she goes through and shows like the different iterations. Like at first she was going to use this colors and put things here, and then she decided she was going to do this. And I think she does talk about this one and how, I don't think the cat was originally angled this way. It was something different, and she didn't have the text or something. So that's fun. I like watching a designer and seeing them talk about their process and kind of how they get from the idea in their head to actually like designing such a beautiful pattern like this one. So that's my expo haul. And then my next one I'm excited about, and I will have a new start next week, probably in 2 weeks, because I'm going to start this one. So you guys remember me talking about Christmas delivery. And I was asking about the fabric because I have the pattern, obviously, and I didn't have the fabric yet. And I was wondering if this was too dark, because I haven't really stitched on a modeled dark fabric yet. And so I was looking around on 123 Stitch because I had a birthday gift card, and I think I'm going to go with this one. I'll put the pattern down and show you this first. So it's not as dark, but it's still a gray, bluish modeling. And then here's the pattern. So definitely not as dark, but I didn't know if I wanted something as dark. But you still get that kind of modeling, that kind of winter's evening, snowing kind of feel from this. And this one is a 32 count vintage Stormy Night, lugana. And so I got that off 123 Stitch. I think I have more than enough. I ordered a way too big of a size, but then I'll have a lot left over if I find another pattern that I think would work with this. But I think that's gonna look really nice. And these are just some of the floss. And I think that the colors, okay. Sorry. I think the colors are gonna look really nice on this. So I'm excited. And so I have all the floss. I needed just a couple more. So I went to Michael's and again, used a coupon and all these things. And I spent like less than $10. So definitely keep an eye out for coupons. But I think I have everything I need to start that one. So I will probably be starting that in the next couple weeks. The only reason I wouldn't is because I'm in it's fall and it's October, so I might not feel like stitching Christmas in the next 2 weeks, but I don't think I have anything else fall besides finishing 2 pumpkins bright, and the fall is in the air pattern, so we'll see. But I also did not work on Books and Cats, so that's one of my other whips. And then the 5th Day of Christmas from Liz Matthew. Those are the 2 whips that I've shared previously that I just didn't work on in the last 2 weeks. So I don't know, I might wait till November to start this one, but you know how it is. You're like, I'll wait, I'll just be good. And then you're like, but I want to stitch it because he's cute and it's Christmas. And so while I was ordering the fabric on 123 Stitch, because I had a gift card, I was like, oh, I might as well order a couple other things and just see what I like and see what's on my wish list. So I got this one from Jardin Prive. I took French in high school, so I'm going to pretend I know how to pronounce this. It's Fil Des Mois, the months of the year, I'm assuming. And I thought that was really cute. I don't have anything yet that has, like, there's a lot of designers who do patterns that have every single month, and I don't have any yet. And there was someone I saw on Instagram, and I'm gonna forget who, but I will find out for next time to see if they also want to join in. I want to start this next year, and I want to do one each month in the month that it is. So I think she was going to do that too, and I'm sorry, I don't remember which Instagrammer was going to work on this, but I want to do January at the beginning of the year and then each month. So January has the snowman, February is a heart, March is a bird, April's got the little carrot. What is this, an egg? Okay, I might change that color because I think that's supposed to be an egg. I might make that white because it's brown right now. May is a house. June is some flowers. July we got a sheep. August we got the beehive. September we got an owl with an apple for learning. I like that. October we got the cat again. Black and white cat might be a theme here. November, just the flower. And remember, Jardin Prive is French, so I was like, oh, why isn't there a turkey? They don't celebrate Thanksgiving over there. So she did a flower, which is pretty. And then December's the tree, the ornament. So that's really cute. And you could probably stitch these as littles, but I'm gonna probably do it all on one piece of fabric. She calls for DMC, so that makes it easy. And then I think this is Vintage Country Mocha. She used a 20 count. I might do like a 25 count. I don't know if I'll do Vintage Country Mocha. You have to see what I feel like. Though I think, I mean, this picture, it's not the actual stitching, I guess. But Vintage Country Mocha might look nice. Those colors might pop, so we'll see. Cloth is or fabric is the one thing I think I'm gonna struggle with as to like what the best fabric is for the pattern if you don't use the called for, which again for this one, this is Alchemine Linen by Picture This Plus, and I don't even think they had that on 123 Stitch when I was looking, or even, I don't think I saw it on Fat Quarter Shop either. So sometimes I think it might be a little hard to get the called for fabric. And I also was looking, maybe not at Picture This Plus, but a lot of people like Fox and Rabbit or Extra Designs, and they make beautiful fabrics, but it's a little pricey. I don't know how I would feel about spending like $25, $30 on a piece of fabric, and usually it's a big enough piece that you can probably stitch more than one thing on it. And I'm sure they have some sizes or some fabrics that are a little bit cheaper. I was just seeing that a lot of them are like in that like $20 to $30 range or even more, and I don't know yet how I feel about spending that much money on fabric. So if you have fabrics you like or designers you like or recommendations, let me know. I know 123 Stitch has like a ton, and so does Fat Quarter Shop. It also does seem like a lot of times they sell out of things, probably because there's still some shipping delays. Things are still hard to get. I know that some of the fabric dyers have had issues like just getting their supplies and things and getting things out. So I think that also is probably having an impact on what's available and what the prices are and things like that. I mean, we all know there's a lot of inflation going on. Prices are going up, and you know, the dyers and the sellers, they need to, you know, make a living. And so if prices are going up for them, they need to raise their prices. I don't know if prices have gone up when it comes to fabric or other cross-stitch supplies, but I wouldn't be surprised if there have been slight increases. And so the other pattern I got from 123 Stitch is this one from Modern Folk Embroidery. I just thought this was really pretty, and I don't love everything that has an alphabet, and I don't think I'll be doing a ton of alphabets, but I did like this one, and I thought this was pretty. And since I haven't done something with an alphabet or a sampler type, I would try this one out. And Modern Folk Embroidery has beautiful patterns, but some of them are like really intricate and really big and really complex, and so I wanted to pick one that was a little bit more simple. And this only uses, I think, 4 or 5 colors, so like that's really easy. I love it's called a free bird. I should probably tell you what it's called. And I don't know if I've been so good about telling you what fabrics for my whips and starts and all of that. It'll be if I missed anything, it'll be in the description. So apologies if I did miss any of those details. Sometimes you forget when you're just talking, but I thought this was pretty. A free bird. You've got the bird like coming out of the cage and the deer up here. So I thought that was pretty. And so speaking of fabrics, I thought I would try this one, which it's lighter than I thought it would be. But this is a 36 count Winter Moon Edinburg, and I thought it looked really pretty on the site. I was just looking around at their fabrics, seeing if I wanted to get just another piece of fabric just to have something in stash. And so I thought that was pretty. Again, I think it's coming true to the color on the screen. I thought it was going to be a little bit darker, so I think I need to pay attention to, I think the colors that are showing up, at least when I look at it on my phone, are showing a little bit darker than they'll be in real life. I even think that this one, while I love it and I'm definitely going to use it, I think it looked a little bit darker on their website, which it's hard to photograph this stuff. So, but I ordered this just to have it, and I was like, I'll find something to stitch on this. And then I was like, oh, it's a little lighter than I thought, but it's pretty. Definitely wouldn't want to stitch anything with light colors because any whites or beiges or off-whites are not going to show on this fabric, but I think this could look pretty on it. Let me know what you think, but I think the blues and the greens there and even the pinks would look pretty nice on this fabric. So I might stitch this one on this, and then I just need to get, I might even have the DMC in stash, but there's only 4 or 5 colors, and then I'll kit it up for that one. So yeah, that was a 36 count Winter Moon Edinburg that I got on 123 Stitch. So that's it for all the stitchy stuff I have to share. Future plans, I think I always kind of talk about that as I go through things. Maybe starting that Christmas delivery one in the next 2 weeks. Definitely finishing 2 Pumpkins Bright. Probably finish the fall one with the little fox, and see what else I feel like starting or working on. Just kind of play it by ear. I don't follow any particular kind of schedule or anything like that. Maybe in the new year, there's a lot of different like bingo kind of things or whip go and things that people do to kind of keep projects in rotation and work on different things. I don't have as many whips as some people do to really need to be too careful about what I'm working on, in that like I don't think any projects will linger for too long, but we'll see how it goes as I keep adding more whips to the pile and maybe having not as many finishes. But so that's what I have to share with you today. Thank you. Well, for stitching, we'll talk about books, but if you're just here for the stitching content, that is it for the stitching portion of this video. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of what I'm working on. Any fabric suggestions, let me know if there's companies, like dyers that you really like, or places that you buy. If you buy fabric from places that are different than like 123 Stitch or Fat Quarter Shop, let me know. I'll check those out. Or how you kind of figure out what fabric might work best, especially because I think people would probably suggest going to like a local needlework store, which I can do. I do have one locally, the Strawberry Sampler. I will say the last time I went, they did not have a very big selection of fabric. I don't know if I think they said they had a lot of people come in that week and buy a lot of stuff. I went in on a Saturday, so maybe they had a lot of foot traffic during the week and just didn't replenish. But they didn't have a lot when I went in, so there wasn't much I could kind of look through when it came to like going there. So I think online right now is the easiest option for me. So any recommendations or how to figure out what fabrics to get, let me know. And then for those who want to talk books, hang around. So I have one book that I finished reading that I talked about last week or 2 weeks ago. I keep saying last week, it was 2 weeks ago. At Your Age, Evie Brown by Talia Hibbert. And so I finished this and it was cute. It was good. I enjoyed it. I think I liked, so her other two books with these are sisters. So the other two sisters, we got Get a Life, Chloe Brown, and Take a Hint, Dani Brown. And I think I liked those two better than this one, but this was still enjoyable. It was cute. They had a good little chemistry there. She's kind of like enemies to friends a little bit. He's kind of a grump. She's kind of the sunshine, happy, optimistic, fun, bubbly, and he's very ordered and likes things a certain way. And but she kind of wins him over in the end, and it's cute. I will say it's R-rated, so if you're not into romance that is more R-rated, just throwing that out there. Just be aware. Sometimes I skip some of the scenes and I just go back to I like the relationship, the banter, the will they, won't they part of it more so than some of the other stuff that comes along with romance. But that was cute. And if you like romance, especially modern romance, do check Talia Hibbert out. I think she's worth it. And then, so I know I've been sharing Mercury Pictures Presents in my last couple of videos. I still am, I'm not reading it right now. It is not the right book for me right now. And so I don't want to say that as in it's not good, or if you're interested, you shouldn't check it out. I never want to say that about a book because everybody has their own individual likes and preferences. Unless a book has glaringly wrong or bad content in it, or is just really poorly written or boring or something, then I might say, not worth your time. But I won't say that for Mercury Pictures Presents. I think it's just too intricate and too dense for what I'm looking for right now. So I had to set it aside, because if you're not looking forward to reading a book and you put it down and you don't really want to pick it up again, then you're doing a disservice to the book and to the author by trying to read it. I think it's the same with cross stitch. If you're not feeling a pattern, sometimes if you put it away and take it back out again later, you're more willing, you feel like stitching on it again, or you feel like reading the book again. So Mercury Picture Presents might appear again in a month or two, but right now it's not what I want to be reading. And so instead, I went to the bookstore last week and I bought a couple books, and one of them is Less is Lost. And so I'm not reading this one right now because it's a sequel. And so instead I'm rereading the first book. So Less by Andrew Sean Greer. This one's so cute. Oh, it's so cute. And maybe that's what I'm in the mood for. Romance and something funny and heartwarming and a little bit lighter, instead of Mercury Pictures Presents, which is quite a heavy book with lots of characters and lots going on. And so Less, won the Pulitzer Prize. I should know that. That's right there. But this is about a man named Les. Is it Andrew Les? Oh no. Well, and that's the writer's name. Arthur. Oh, he's Arthur Les. Sorry, guys. Anyway, Arthur Les is an author, and he's a middling author. He had one very successful book and a string of other not so successful books. So that's what he does for a living. And Arthur's ex-boyfriend is about to get married, and Arthur gets an invitation. And he's like, I don't want to go to the wedding. This is awkward. I'm the ex, but a lot of my friends are going because we all are friends. We all know, a lot of us know each other. And he's like, I just don't want to be here. And I think he's like this in a lot of things in his life. If things make him uncomfortable or he doesn't want to do it, he runs. So he's like, I'm getting out of town. So how do I get out of town? So I can refuse, so I can say I can't go to the wedding and not even be around for the stuff leading up to the wedding. And so he decides to accept a ton of invitations for speaking events and conferences and other kind of things that as an author he has been sent, you know, over the last few months or the last year, just different engagements that people want him to come to because he was once a fairly successful author and he's still writing and people still know him. So he accepts all these invitations starting in New York and heading all over the world, different places in Europe. I think he goes to Asia. It's been a few years, more than a few years since I read this. So I am rereading it. It is fun. It is funny. He is the type of person who is always getting into mishaps. He's always finding himself in uncomfortable, strange, or messy situations. So that's the kind of humor you're going to get with them, with this one. You know, you really have to like kind of get endeared to him and like him as a character, I think, to like this book. I might have recommended it to a friend or two who did not really get into it, so it's not for everyone, but the people I know who read it and loved it really did enjoy it. And I don't often laugh out loud at books. It's just, I don't know, maybe I don't have the, you know, maybe I'm a tough person to make laugh, but for books especially, you're not going to get a ton of laughter out of me, and this one always makes me chuckle. So that is Less. And then Less is Lost is the prequel that just came out, and he is in a relationship, and I think there's some stuff going on with his family and some, you know, some issues with the relationship. He's just got a lot going on, and as his way to be, he runs away, and this time he decides to accept all these events or speaking engagements out in the Midwest of the US. So that, I think, is what this one is about, and probably more craziness, funniness, mishaps, getting himself into awkward and silly situations. So it's Less is Lost and Less. Highly recommend if you want something silly and fun. And so that's what I'm reading. That's what I'm stitching. No big plans over the next couple weeks. Pretty relaxing. I have a wedding toward the end of the month, so that'll be fun down in Delaware. One of my good friends is getting married, so weddings are always a good time. And I think that's about it for me, but it's gray, raining, cloudy, so I'm gonna go sit and stitch for a bit and probably read for a bit and have a relaxing evening. And I hope wherever you are or whatever time you are watching this, you have a good morning, afternoon, or evening yourself. So happy stitching and happy reading, everyone.